Check the cards. BladeTwinSwords, long-time veteran, died in MT4. Got 13th place in MT16, very respectable placing. Win rate above 50%, which is usually our measuring stick for better players in the tournament. And then on the other side we have Kostucha participating for the first time. I've seen some races from Kostucha and has been doing really well in those races. But not a racer to be discounted. Played a lot of games. The loser side played a lot of games at this point, especially when you lose in front 1 or front 2 as his players have. BTS lost to Callback and Block Source. Puzzle game, but ended up getting really confused about how to move the blocks, and Callback didn't just move along. But then had a streak of wins. Espion and Scooby-Doo in the Cyber Chase, Right Shadow, the man who can't jump. Was a pretty tricky puzzle game and handled that really well. Nico Jazz and V-Stage 1 Complex, I didn't watch that match, I think it was close. And then 90 in another very tricky puzzle game, Stone Man's Adventure. Also did really well in that game, if I remember. And then Kostucha on the other side won Streamline. Lost to Pleaky in Unblade Senki in a very close match that ended up being decided by an upgrade that Kostucha didn't get and ended up dying to the boss. But then beat Maxell in Assassin's Creed, with Xiao and Daydreamer with a really good time. I think it was faster than Andy's time when Andy played that in top 8. And beat Ellipsis, Break, and Resynth, which pretends to be a rhythm game, but is actually just a Sokoban. But they're close to getting ready, I should probably crop their stream. It's a good song, by the way, you gave us. Never heard of Uncharted Waters Online before.
Hello! Fingers crossed that my mic is working.
It is. Hello.
It is! Hello! I'm here to back you up on some of that hot mystery funhouse commentary action. What do we got today? We got BTS versus Kostucha. Kostucha.
Maurice always says Kostucha, I don't know if that's correct.
It might be Kostucha, it might be Kostucha, it might be Kostucha. It might be Kostucha. It might be one heck of a race, though, coming up for you here. I don't know what you said before I got in here, but I got in here.
Yeah, I was just talking about the racers that's like BTS, the veteran, versus Kostucha that is joining for the first time but gave us really impressive times, like beat Andy's time in Daydreamer. Should be a good match.
let me see what we've got here. Can you give me that good
Yes.
old commentator stream? Actually, you don't have to, because I'm going to go to the graphic stream so I can draw on the screen. Gotta draw on the screen. I'm gonna draw on the screen.
I think this would be a good game for drawing. It's a bit of a spoiler on what the genre of the game is.
Yeah, it looks like we're about ready to switch over. Are you just working on the cropping right now?
Yeah, I think I should be able to switch over.
Let me just check here. We've got a classic that I have recently beat on the phone.
Oh, so it should be a good commentator for this. I've never played this myself. It's good to have someone who has.
It's Golf Beaks.
Golf base.
Alright, so this is Golf, the card game. The game of cards of... Well, not really the card game, because the card game does involve you, having some sort of random cards. What's going to happen here is the golfers are going to get very specific actions to do their very specific things with, and they're going to need to very specifically hit the hole within the very specific time frame and very specific card frame. But not for the specific frames. They're called holes because this is a golf game, not a bowling game.
All I got from that is the racers will have to be specific.
The racers will have to be specific.
So he's ready. I believe BTS will be ready in just a second.
So yes, this is fully available inside of the bundle, for racial justice and equality. I think it's in both bundles. It's also on the Play Store. So here we go. We have the game. You have a certain card in your hand that you get to utilize in order to push the ball in a specific spot. So you need to push the ball, for instance, one spot to the left in order to hit it into the thing. You got to hit the ball to the right in order to hit the ball to the right. You got to hit the ball to the left to the right, and then you can choose which card you want to use first. So you're going to have to use the two, and then you're going to have to hit the one, and then you're going to have to hit the other one. And there you go. You're off. So yeah, this is basically the core of the game. We're going to need to actually hit the ball specifically onto the hole. We cannot hit it past the hole. For Kostucha with the very beautiful skip there. Because BTS doing the long way around, Kostucha is just like, screw it. Kostucha, I don't know how to pronounce it. And correctly predicting that you have to bounce it off the wall there. So here we're learning a little bit about how to manipulate those values. So bouncing it off the wall will cause you to do a -1 to your move. And bouncing it off of various things will cause it to change how many shots you still have left. So here we now have the ability to do chip shots. Hooray! Now we get to jump. And if you thought, oh boy, I can't wait to jump in this game, you made mistakes in your life. Because it's only getting wilder from here. There are 9 worlds, and there are 3 bonus stages for each world. And those are all pretty challenging for those 3 bonus stages, but we don't have to do those. We just need to get through on this one. So here we have a new card that we saw on Kost's side, which is the chip followed by a roll-in. We have a forward spin, or top spin, if you would. And it's going to cause you to move forward after it hits the ground. Now, a thing to note, again, is that when you hit those ramps, they are going to override whichever direction you are going in. So they are going to immediately eat that roll, which is exactly what Kost needs to have happen here.
It feels like these levels are mostly teaching how the mechanics work, which is good, I guess, because there are a lot of mechanics.
Yes, there are Well, there are going to be a new mechanic for each world. So during World 2, our mechanic is chip shots. During World 3, we are going to see something new that I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. But now we're learning that we can do we have little ricochet 90-degree bouncers. Those are very important to note. And right now, Kostucha is running away with this, is doing just an absolutely phenomenal job of identifying where to go. BTS just being a little bit slower behind. The goal does not require that the players beat the bonus level. So now we have rough or sand traps. We have the sand traps. So the sand traps, if you chip them in or if you hit them into the sand trap, you cannot roll them out. You have to chip out of sand traps. And the moment you hit a spot on a sand trap, you get stuck in the sand trap. End of story. So here we're going to have to chip it out of the sand trap and immediately roll it back into the ball. Easy enough, right?
Yeah, I can see this getting pretty complicated pretty soon.
Yeah, here Kostucha doesn't want to do this one because it's going to find that they can't quite make it to the sand trap. However, had they done the one followed by two and then the one chip in, they're fine, and they'll find that they don't actually have to use that 3-shot. Sometimes there are cards left over. That's just how it works.
I don't know how
BTS making it to the sand trap here.
throws off the level.
Now, what we're also seeing is Kostucha is using the reset feature a lot. There is, in fact, an undo, and there is a limited undo that will allow you to quickly identify stuff. So this is mud. This mud is, if you land on the mud, you could buy ball.
Ooh.
Goodbye ball. You can roll over the mud just fine, just don't land in it. I hope that my schlorp was sufficiently disturbing for all of you. I put a lot of work into schlorping. So here we're running into the challenge of how do we get the exact 2, and Kostucha has figured that out. By bouncing it off the wall, we can reduce by 1 and immediately get the extra 1 that we need here. We still got BTS is a little bit behind, still trying to identify how to get through some of these stages. Well, Kostucha has successfully identified quite a few tricks here, actually.
I'm waiting for this game to get hard so we can get players to stumble and puzzle, but Kostucha is just moving.
Yeah, actually, 3 is where it gets a little bit difficult with some of these sand traps. It's not as bad as it will get later, but it's definitely the start of something new on that regard, and it's absolutely just killing it here. So now we have water traps. Now, as you may know in golf, when you hit a water trap, you don't redo your shot. You drop your ball right next to the water trap. So what we're going to need to do in some instances is hit the water trap and then have to and that's going to reposition the ball at the nearest possible safe spot for the ball to be. So sometimes we need to overshoot just a little bit.
It sounds like it can get pretty tricky. Like, I need to decide which water hole you want to hit so you get placed back to the safe spot.
Yeah, it's a lot more difficult now that you got to actually make some decisions. You had the decision of a few things, but now you've seen dirt traps, you've seen water traps, you've seen mud traps. What other things do you think we might be seeing in this game?
Boost pads.
Boost pads, interesting. Well, we'll see when those trees. Also interesting. Trees are not what I expected the answer there.
Yeah, I'm running through the list of natural hazards in a golf course, and Oh, I guess not natural hazards with the boost pads.
Well, we will see what we get here. Will we get some trees? Will we get some boost pads? Let's see how FFAO's prediction pans out. So here we go, recognizing that we need to use the extra shot distance in order to pull it back there, because we can't. Again, you have to land it exactly on the hole. If you shoot over the hole, if you shoot past the hole, if you shoot through the hole, it's not going to land in. Just like golf, you can't hit it too hard. He has people in chat noting that this game is missing the challenge levels. So for the game immediately clears you through to the next world whenever you complete the 9 levels that it shows you or that it follows you through directly. But you can go back and complete 3 other levels that are challenging levels. Some of them are going to provide quite a spin on some of these mechanics and worlds, and it is certainly, well, they are challenging levels for sure. Slurp.
I don't remember if the last time this was played we had the challenge levels in there.
Yeah, I do believe that the last time this was played, we had only a World 4 goal, and it had the challenge levels in it, I think. That may be... I remember there being a World 4 goal before.
So we're seeing
So,
the new words today.
BTS is almost a full world behind at this point. This is going to be very dangerous to catch up on, because 4-8, it means there's only 2 worlds left.
I mean, for BTS to catch up, Kostucha would need to stop, and Kostucha does not seem to like the idea of stopping.
No, there's definitely a lot of speed going on here in this side, and that's how we like to golf around here. We like to play golf with speed. Doing a good idea of making sure. So now the thing about the chip shots is that you will go above all terrain. It does not matter if you're at the lowest height to the highest height. Did you guess bounce pads? So you're kind of right in boost pads. Boost pads. So these pads are going to, when your ball rolls over it, chip your shot for the remaining value of the shot that you have left. So if you roll over it with 5 and it's 1 away, it's going to chip your shot for another 4. And Kostucha is catching on that pretty quickly here, and how this is going to work. So here we have a trick. Let's see if Kostucha figures it out. We can bounce it off the back wall and cause it to hit the bouncer again, and cause it to jump over. So just like that, we're through, and does figure that out.
Oh,
Very
I
good.
thought it was stuck there, but no, figured it out pretty quickly.
So now here's another trick: is that the balls are going to the bounce pads. You have to move on to the bounce pads with a roll rather than a chip shot. So here in this instance, we couldn't quite chip over to the bounce pad the way that we'd want to, because it just doesn't work. So we need to we can't be on the bounce pad and then roll it forward. We're going to hit the next ball. We have to, and we can't chip it on the bounce pad in order to make it work. Well, we can chip it if it's got the forward direction still, but it's definitely... So we're going to have to figure out how to effectively put this ball on this stage to actually get it to bounce over things correctly. Don't think you ever actually finished this game. I did finish this game completely. I do have a 100% file on the phone, because it is on the... If you like this game, it is available on itch. If you have the racial bundle, I think it's the racial bundle for racial equality. And if you have that, or it might also be in both the bundles, honestly. Let me see. It's also on the Google Play Store's Play Pass, which is if you pay $5, you get access to a wide variety of apps and games. Let me see. Golf Peaks. Look at this. It is in both. It is both the bundle for Ukraine and bundle for racial justice and equality. So if you did buy those giant itch bundles serving good causes oh so many years ago, you likely have this game.
Finally, the bounce pads to actually have been giving Kostucha some trouble.
Yeah, so this is the first really tricky stage because you have to kind of be very careful how you're moving these across the bounce pads because we actually need to utilize the water's ending. All right, so this is almost something similar to what we need, but again, we're just slightly shy. Had we done that in the opposite direction, however, so had Kostucha gone this way, yeah, now you can ship it over and roll it in. Now you're good. So this one's really easy. You just gotta figure out which order of the sand trapping you want to land on with it. Now, this is a level that's really better if you draw your way back from the hole in order to identify which way you want to go. Because when you're rolling forward, you got to figure out all the options available to you and what order you want to do them. But if you start rolling backwards from the goal, you start seeing, oh, I need a 2 and a chip here, or I need a 2 roller here, and I need to come in here for them. I need a chip shot of a 2 here, and I need to come in there, and it helps you really figure out what order you're going to actually be able to pull stuff off on. No, that was actually kind of correct there. Nope. Oh, yep, that works. There you go.
So I stopped for a bit before doing the moves, so probably was doing that calculation instead.
And quickly identifies again that you can bounce it backwards in order to bounce it over the hole. So close, but unfortunately that chip shot would take it down into the hole. You need to have exactly into those spots. Also, yes, maybe I'm just too excited to draw on screen. This is the perfect game for it. I avoided it for 5. You BTS still stuck on stage 4. 4 is going to be a problem. So right here, Kostucha has a lot of options, but you don't have to use all your cards. You can just get there. You can come in under par, folks. So here the big challenge is that we have these 3 ramps there, which means that anything that we put on this, had we jumped across this ramp, we would have actually lost out. Correctly identifying that we need to burn one of our big hits in order to get to the water trap, but we actually want to burn the big hit here, the 5 card, to land in the water trap, and then use the rest of it in order to get across and through, so we can actually get into the area. So this is actually a really common technique in this game, is burning the bigger cost cards, like a 5 or a 4 or something, into the water in order to make sure that we have enough in order to move the correct amount of spaces. So here we're going to do exactly that. We're going to drop the 5 and we're going to drop the 4 into the water, and then we're going to be able to now take that 2, come across. The 3 is going to put us exactly into the sand pit, and that 3 and 1 is going to bounce us straight up into the hole. Just like that. Let's see if BTS can figure out that you need to bounce it off the back wall with that 3. So, does kind of, sort of, but in the opposite direction. You got a lot of moving or rubbing up against your mic or something. So this stage here isn't too bad as long as you realize which of these is going to get you closest to the edge without going over effectively, which is unfortunately not that one. You're not hearing anything from FFAO's mic? Oh, right. Okay, that might be Discord only. Then you're good. All right, here we're going to try. We got to use that 9 just a little bit earlier because we need to get... you got to calculate where a 9 could possibly go from. From here to here is 6, plus another 3 would drop your ball here, and then you could use that 9 in that spot, only if you stopped there. But you got to be able to burn that 9 early. So there we go. We have the 9 is now just one step too far. Try using that 5 at the start. There you go. Now you can use the 9 and you're good to land. And that's the important part about this stage. After that, all this stage is just go through the motion. There's nothing left here. BTS now on the stage that held up Kostucha for a little while. Yeah, I just realized that filters on OBS means that I'd be hearing stuff that you all couldn't. And we make it into stage 6. That's right. Now we're thinking with portals. In one portal, out the other.
Yeah, that was not what I was expecting from my golf game. Teleporters.
Oh, then you don't play enough mini golf. There are plenty of holes that lead to other holes in mini golf. It's a recurring golf theme.
Yeah, but usually they connect to each other. It's not portals.
Kostucha. You and I are going to a different mini golf course. Actually, to be fair, I don't really go to mini golf courses, so maybe I'm just, up my butt. But that tends to be the case. All right, here we go. We're finding out that not necessarily do you have to hit every single portal all the time, or something like that. So now we get to play the wonderful game of, oh god, why? Which of these portals is going to lead us to the correct spot, and how? So what's actually fun about this is that if Kostucha had used the chip shot from here, or from this spot, and chipped in, it would have popped out and maintained the rolling direction here and made it into the goal.
Can you roll up the slope?
Yes, it can roll up the slope. And it will maintain the exact same direction that the ball comes out the hole in the first place. So here it's going to pop out, go in there, and then you're going to be one short. Oops. So Kostucha, I'll never say it right. It actually had a really good spot. Oh, here we go. This works too. And in, using the water trap to the advantage.
It didn't look exactly bland to me, but it worked, so it's fine.
This is absolutely devastating for poor BTS here on these stages. Now the problem is that we can't chip from that distance. We can't make it across the water trap. And we can't do another chip in order to stop that from happening. But what we could do here is, well... I forgot. I was looking at it and then I forgot. Here's the problem because you're in the water. You're in the trap. See, one thing that we can do is we can hit the green hole twice. So we go in through the green hole, come out the green hole, we hit the green hole again, come out the green hole, and then hit it onto the sand trap, and then use the chip over into the hole. But right now the problem is that we're chipping too far into the green hole. Now here we go, and we've got it. And in.
BTS is really running out of games to catch up here. 3 levels only for Kostucha?
Yeah, this is getting really dire for BTS at this point. Good identification that we need to make sure the ball goes a specific direction, distance, and we should be good here. We can just drop it into the water, put one onto the sand trap, and chip it in for the rest of it, and we're golden. Let's see if BTS did the reverse calculation here, or is playing it by ear. A lot of stages, it's really good to play it in reverse, but this one I feel is the most important one to do so with. At least in this goal. So here we're running into that issue. How do we use a 4 hole, a 5, or 4 and a 5 in an ever increasingly tighter confines? And so what we need to do is we need to burn a lot of those cards in better spots. So here, if we burn the 5 instead of the 4 on this shot, then we're going to find the exact same method being used will work. And that's going to put Kostucha on the last stage. This is an incredible time, by the way. This is absolutely plowing through it. There's barely anything stopping. The one thing to note about the water is that if you hit it from the side, it will just bounce off. You don't have to worry about water eating your shot. So here, one of the things to recognize is that this hole is in fact a trap. You can't make it through that. What you actually need to do is come off this bounce pad with the 4 and get through. If I recall correctly. Or get it through this route. The main thing is to recognize that this route does not work. You need to come up this way and either go one of those directions. You need to go up the center.
Like on one hand, you think, well, why is the center there if I don't need to use it? But this game has had a bunch of red herrings before, so it gets more complicated to think like that.
Yeah, and another thing that's really important is that Kostucha had bounced off of this wall here in this instance, and that's not so good. Oh, you know what?
I guess that path works.
Sure. Punch me in the face. I'm wrong. Here we go. And Kostucha has taken the win with an absolutely speedy time. Incredible. There is a full world ahead of BTS, never stopping, not for a moment. An absolutely stellar performance through and through. That was impressive. So now we have everybody's favorite fun time activity, ice.
Oh no.
Oh no is correct. Ice does exactly what you think it does. Once you land on the ice, there is no stopping. Unless it bounces, in which case it stops. No, I think it still keeps going. Have you invited into Chatty Chat?
I don't even think BTS was anywhere near expecting this outdone because he hasn't been that stuck for that long and it's a full world behind the goal.
This is definitely a case where BTS has been pondering very decently how to move forward, but Kostucha just didn't need to at all. Hello!
Oh.
So, before we go further, the first question on everybody's mind, and apparently Maurice pronounces it one way, but I have no idea. How do we pronounce your name?
Kostucha.
Kostucha. Okay. I thought it might be that at first, but I wasn't sure. But very well done, Kostucha. You did absolutely really well there. That was a very, very good performance.
Thanks.
Just absolutely dominating from start to finish. It looked like you didn't even stop to think about a lot of moves. And then the few times where you had to, you did. And instead of just keep on clicking through and trying to find, play 50-50 with the cards. What was your thought process for a lot of this? Did you start from the goal and work your way forward or backward? Or did you start from where you were at and play the field?
I mean, usually I start play at random, because with the undos, and with the cards, I just try to see where everything would take me, And usually it worked in my favor. I got close to the end, then I try to work backwards, or what card can I save, what card can I use earlier.
Well, it definitely was the correct approach because you absolutely were zooming through a lot of those levels. You caught on to a lot of the tricks that the game had, especially with the water, where it liked to say, hey, here's some really big cards, burn them on one moves in order to, or knock it into the water in order to move one instead of five. So you were catching on to a lot of the game's gimmicks pretty quickly.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the game overall?
Yeah, it's very fun. I'll probably finish this on my off time.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it is a very good game. It's a very enjoyable puzzle game.
Yeah.
So this is your first mystery tournament?
Yeah, it is.
How did you hear about us?
During when the top 8 is on the GDQ, I usually watch the top 8.
Awesome.
A few years back, I think.
So you decided to join in and see if you could handle it too, and right now you are handling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. You're doing very well for your first mystery tournament. Absolutely crushing some strong competitors, and this time was just even our resident puzzle tester god Sully was just like, this is a really good time.
Really?
Yeah, no, it was absolutely solid. Right now we're watching as BTS plays through the game and is doing fairly well compared, arguably very well, but is just behind because you were just like, okay, zoom, move on to the next one, move on to the next one, move on to the next one, we're done.
Oh, he's a world behind, okay.
So what was your favorite mechanic in this game?
Favorite mechanic? I don't know, honestly. Probably the jump pads. Once I figured out that once you land on the jump on the launch pad, and you have extra moves, it would make the bigger jump. I like that mechanic.
Yeah, the jump pads, especially when you can do stuff like bounce it off the back of the wall while you're on it in order to trigger a new jump. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a really dynamic. Well, congratulations on your win. You are going to be moving on to the back round 6. You're still in this, and as we come up near the end of the tournament, we're moving towards top 8 potential. How do you feel about that possibility?
Good. I didn't expect to get anywhere close. I expected to get a win or two, but now that I'm closer to top 8, I would like to get into top 8 for sure.
You still got a little bit of a ways to go. Let me double check where we're at here in the tournament. Yeah, you got to go. Ooh, you're up against some girl. That's going to be a big competition. You're up against some girl in Okami of games, so you're close to top 8, but you got
it's gonna be tough. Yeah.
Well, mon ami, it was good talking to you. Thank you so much for giving us such a good match, and good luck in your future matches.
Thank you.
All right, so BTS is now working on portals. Seems to be grasping the portals a little bit better. Is able to go through them without. Has already hit stage 6-4. Do I have the secret level 2? I don't know if I have the secret level. I've already deleted it off my phone, regrettably, so I don't know. I don't recall if that was a thing. me see here. All right, so BTS is still cruising along. Is only 5 stages away, and once again, this is really important to note. Is that BTS's time is solid right now. BTS is doing very well, especially on these portal levels, not being held up at all. Kostucha was just really, really strong. So here we have the same trap being fallen into, where we're not going to be able to chip into the hole if we keep on this direction. FFAO, how well do you think you'd have done on this game?
I mean, terribly. Taurus are not very good at puzzle games, and even watching these players, when I see Kostucha opening a level, I could barely process what the cards were and was already done.
Yeah, that was the main thing that was really strong. Is just like you like you said, you could barely process what the cards were even were, and it was just, all right, we're done. BTS catching that like in the second try. That's still really good. Unfortunately, I believe is approaching this in the wrong direction. Needed to go through the red hole and work. It's kind of a little unintuitive because you feel like you want to go through here and around the corner, but you actually want to go through here and then take a U-turn. So. Let's see if BTS can try that approach here. He's trying something completely new. Unfortunately, those 2 chips are really bad for this situation because you just don't have that power, or you don't have the way to dodge what's going to happen here. Oh, but this is an interesting approach and works, showing off the multiple solutions. BTS finding a much different solution here. So might be thinking to burn the 5 first. Nope, is immediately undoing it, thinking that the 4 will land it nicely. Unfortunately, you do need to burn that 5 first. Sure.
It really feels like some of these levels are intentionally designed so that they have multiple paths and all of the paths work. Just have to do each of the paths right.
There is a decent bit of that, yeah, where you have a lot of branching options. All right, here we go. And we're through on to the last stage. Let's see if BTS goes up the middle or stays going this path like Kostucha did. It's always lovely to see people join us from our GDQ stuff. It's one of the reasons we do it. It's one of the reasons we love doing it, is to get people to play. So, you know, it's always good to see people actually coming in from that.
I'd say most of the recent people maybe come from that. I'm here because of a GDQ showcase that I watched.
And we have a winner!
It's not BTS because BTS lost, but he won by clearing the goal.
With that estimate that Furret gave us, pretty well done. Yeah, well, that's why BTS got the winner writing, is because Kostucha already won the. You watched the GDQ for years, but would only enter the Discord to tell people about Round Guard, which is funny because I don't remember if you told me about Round Guard first, or I was already aware of Round Guard, and then I got us the race of that. It was good times. Wonder Belly is good people. I'm looking forward to what their next game is. Let's see if BTS wants to join us here. And we have a BTS! BTS!
I was trying to make sure what time it was.
Fair.
Good.
Nate!
Very, very good game. I can now check golf game off of my MT list. Yeah, I got Sakabon too, so I got 2 with 1 stone.
Very nice. Or not so nice, depending on how you look at
Sakabon I'm good at, so good.
it. Well, make no mistake, you did it absolutely well. You really did do very well with this. You were, especially in the last world, you definitely intuited a lot of the way that the game wanted you to interact with those portals pretty quickly. You were only held up by like 2 stages, and I actually think that your last world time was quicker than Kostucha's time, but unfortunately, the rest of it, it was very impressive to see what was going on with that.
Oh, yeah.
Were you expecting that dot done as soon as it came in?
Yeah. I expected them to be good at puzzle games. Considering their comment of, good, we dodged Mega Man, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a fun race.
Like, oh god, if they're not good at the run and jump, they must be good at the puzzle. I'm screwed.
I like puzzle games. They're one of my favorite genres.
This is a really solid example of a puzzle game, too. This is really good, like, in my opinion. It lays out its rules very clearly. It gives you all the tools that you need to work with ahead of time, and it just says kind of figure it out from there.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I willingly bought this game, so that says a lot.
Fair. Now, are you going to go back and finish up the rest of the levels then?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I paid for it. I'm going to do it.
There you go. Well, unfortunately, this is the end of your MT18 run. You made it pretty far into the back 5. Any regrets? Any good times? What's your most notable thing about the tournament this year?
Actually did good in the losers bracket. Holy cow.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. I usually don't do that good, but reception to this has been. I've had all good games. I think. Yeah, I've had all good games. So that's a plus in my book.
Heck yeah. Well, as always, I suppose we'll see you next year if we see you next year, and looking forward to more BTS in the future.
I think I'm kind of required to join at this point.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. You're basically like on the hook until the MT stops.
I am the old boy, like one of the very few left. I think there's only like 6 people who have, or 7 people who have more games than I do.
Yeah, are you one of the first ones, or?
MT4 was my first one. I've been in every single one since.
Fair enough.
9 total have had more matches than me, and that's Nighty Madungu Boni, Freeball, Zex, Zanuck, Ness, Palladian, and Gons.
Well then, good luck with your next mystery tournament, and I will see you at the Heat Death of the Universe.
Yes, you will. You'll never escape me. Never.
All right, let's see what we've got coming up here on Mystery Funhouse. Our coming up races. We have in 1 day and 21 hours, 49 minutes, we have Arius versus Marchmaster. And in 3 days, 1 hour, 49 minutes, we have Dale Kirby versus Callback. For later this weekend, we have Furturt versus Jackazam. That one's going to be our first entry in the top 8 in 4 days, 2 hours. So we got a bit of a break between now and our next races. And I know that we do have one vodcast that we still have to pick up from earlier today. That will be happening at some point. So as always, keep an eye on the Give Game channel. If you do not have the Give Game roll, go ahead and type in the Blind-O-Matic, the Give Game, exclamation point Give Game to get that roll in order to get pinged whenever those happen. Keep an eye on the channel and get ready for more racing action because you never know when Mystery Funhouse is going live. Thank you so much for picking this up, FFAO.
Yeah, thanks for commentating. Feels weird to bring up the schedule view and not see a full list.
Yeah, sometimes we too would like to relax.
And you have to realize there's less than 30 entrants left.
Yeah, we're getting there. I believe top 8 is Top 8 weekend is well, I closed the thing, but it's coming soon.
Top 8 is the 16th of March, and it also goes into the 17th.
So we've almost got a month left.
I'm not here that weekend. Sad.
The good news is you don't have to worry about it now. I mean,
No, I want to watch it. Excuse you.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to Mystery Funhouse, and you have a great night.
Stay safe, everyone.